Before I go to introduce my partner here, I wanted to just briefly discuss the Red Ribbon Week. Obviously, today culminates those 2 weeks in October, which is annually, this happens every year, of course. We're all aware as to the idea behind it, but I don't know how many of you know the specifics as to how it got started. And I think it's important that you understand what's behind it, and the reason being because not only talking about the anti-drug aspects behind Red Ribbon Week, it also involves the violence, the anti-violence. Red Ribbon Week actually was created as a result of a kidnap, torture, and brutal murder of a drug enforcement agent and his pilot. This was years ago, and it was something that was very high profile at the time. It was a multi-million-dollar drug organization that was brought down in Mexico. And as a result, there was retaliation from some cartels, and it was very brutal, to the point where investigators actually found audio tapes where Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena, he was kidnapped and tortured, and to the point where they had doctors there keeping him alive so they could continue torturing him before brutally murdering him. I bring this to your attention because when you're involved in drugs, whether it be from the beginning stages where you're just a user, or you get to the point where you're dealing, which obviously we know they're out there, this is what you're involved in. You're involved in a world of violence that ultimately can and will destroy lives. I've seen it personally. It's in our community. Unfortunately, it's in our schools. I got to hand it to this school. This is one of 3 schools, the other 2 being elementary, where we haven't had a drug issue yet this year. In the high school, we've had 2 drug arrests already. Angers me very much so. All this work that we're doing, we've actually had 2 arrests here, one just as recent here within the last 2 days. And we've also had an incident down at our middle school on the other side here. Folks, we can do everything we can to get the message to you, but it still comes down to one thing. Decisions and choices. And I really ask, or I implore you to follow our advice, the advice of those teachers, parents, those that you can trust, and know that it's a bad thing. I know you're blue in the face, but there's a lot behind it. Okay, I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Demko. Those of you who are familiar, Mr. Demko also co-chairs the board on the Bell-Vernon Drug Elimination Task Force, which is the organization we created. Mr. Demko is going to briefly tell you about that and show you a quick demonstration.
Thank you, Mr. Grice. Thank you for having us here this afternoon. Before I get started, let me just say, we did a quick sweep. I know it was a practice lockdown drill today, but you should all be very proud of yourself. We did go into the classroom, we did look at some lockers, and we didn't find anything. So you should all give yourself a round of applause. On that note, you guys knew maybe yesterday, today, that we were coming in with the dogs. Next time you come into the school, you're not going to know. Your teachers won't know. The principal won't know. The superintendent won't know. None of the other police officers on the department will know. It's a complete surprise. The only thing I ask you, please don't let us ever find drugs in your possession. This afternoon, I'm not going to take a lot of your time because we had a great basketball game, but I did want to introduce the Bell-Vernon Community Drug Elimination Task Force. It was formed last October after an elementary school student found a crack pipe at their bus stop. And if anybody's not familiar with what that is, it's a device that's used to smoke cocaine. Extremely dangerous. Student brought it home, played with it, carried it around in his pocket all day at school, not knowing what it was, even though it was a new toy. And that was a flag to us that we needed to step up as parents, as a community, as teachers, administrators, as well as local law enforcement, and step in and try to stop a problem before it starts. There's 2 choices when you work with drugs. You either die or you go to jail. There's no in between. You might not get caught today, you might not get caught tomorrow. You will get caught. If you don't get caught, you will die. That's the only 2 options when you work with drugs. So our goal as the task force is to educate you. We're not going to stand up here and tell you don't do drugs, don't say no. We've heard it for years. All we're going to ask you to do is find out the facts. And in order to help you do that, we created a website. which is bbataskforce.com. On the website, there's numerous links where you guys can go and get information about drugs. You're not going to see anywhere on our site where we tell you to say no. We're not going to tell you all the horror stories about it on there. It's information. I encourage each of you just to look at it and make your own decisions. You know, I've met some of the teachers here. They're very good. So I know that what they're teaching you here, you're able to retain and you're able to make good decisions. And that's all I'm asking you to do today. Is look at the website, find out the facts before you make a costly mistake. You either end up in the ground or in jail. Today, I'm going to show you a little bit about Canine Ozzy. He's my partner. He's 5 years old. He's a German Shepherd. He was born in Germany and flew over here when he was 10 years old, and has been with me ever since. Ozzy is able to find the smallest trace amounts of illegal narcotics. And that includes marijuana, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamines, and to everybody's disbelief that doesn't think he can smell prescription drugs, he can find Oxycontin, he can find hydrocodone, Vicodin, all of the other prescription drugs. Their misconception is that they don't have a smell. I'm here to tell you every single thing in this world has a smell. It can be the color in this white rag that they use to dye the fabric. It can be the stain on this wood. Every single thing has a unique identifying smell. This afternoon I placed a small amount of a controlled substance in the school here. It's somewhere in the bleachers here. And I'm going to show you that Ozzy can pinpoint that odor. I'm not going to ask anybody to move. Ozzy is very friendly. In fact, as I'm talking here, I'm going to walk around real quick. And just let you kind of as I walk by. Don't bring your down. He's very safe. He's not going to bite you. But the unique thing about this is, even while you guys are petting him and I'm walking around, he's sniffing drugs. So we're going to test these out teachers here real quick just to make sure everything on the schedule. Alright, so we can see Ozzy's not going to jump out. So when we do these tests in school, there's no reason to be afraid of us. We're not here to arrest you. We're not here to talk about you. We're here for one reason. To keep drugs out of your hands. And hopefully educate you to that fact. I'm going to hand the mic over to Lieutenant Christopher here, and I'm going to just do a real slow drug search of Ozzy, starting up by the entrance and working my way down, and we're going to see if he can pinpoint. So the amount that he's searching for is so small that even if you were handling and brought it home before you came into school and then touched your locker, he's going to be able to pick up on that small trace amount. You know, the example I like again. If you go, without further ado, so we can get on to the basketball game, I'm going to get ready to start the search. If you bring it to school, it will get caught. You might get away with it today. You might get away with it tomorrow. Eventually, it will get caught. I don't want to have to see you come down and see Lieutenant Christopher in his office. I'd rather him come see me here.